Shake those.
There's gotta be another way out. I've been stuck in a cage with my doubt. I've tried forever getting out on my own. Every time I do this my way, I get caught in the lies of the enemy. I lay my troubles down, I'm ready for you now. Bring me out, come and find me in the dark now. Every day by myself I'm breaking down. I don't wanna fight alone anymore. Bring me out, from the prison of my own pride. My God, I need a home I can't deny me. And I'm realizing I was never meant to fight on my own.
Alright everyone, it's your boy K Natsuki here, back at it again with a spanking hot what if, and I'm here today with another friend of mine. He has about like 30 subscribers. His name is...
XXX, wait, no. I'm sorry.
My friend's name is...
Gamer X, the second.
He has about 30 subscribers.
I have 40 million.
Not even
Or
possible.
1,000, but still.
Not even possible.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Anyways, he's a bit of a swindler, a cheat, a liar. He'll try to swindle you out of things, bargains, deals, you know, that type of stuff.
You can be a butt sometimes.
Okay, anyways, let's get into this spanking hot what if part. This is part 3 of what if, and this is part 2 of what if Deku, aka Izuku Midoriya, was the reincarnation of Infinite. So, hold on. Alright, I just remembered where we left off. Anywho, last time we left off, pretty much, Deku was at a training area. Now, what I mean by training area is like he was in a dojo in the woods, not like in the city. As he sees this woman who is a Sonic character. Yes, I'm not doing a OC like some people wanted. However, I think you'll like my twist on my little spin on this, as it is one of the strangest and most random Sonic ships of all time that I've actually found, and there's actually ship children for it. Infinite X Mephiles. Yes, you all heard me. Mephiles. From the... Seriously, if you're asking me, Mephiles was probably the only good thing about the total and utter and total complete terrible disaster that was Sonic 2006. 2006. Seriously, that Sonic game, the graphics were so bad, man. I mean, seriously. Let's get this. However, I've made the ship. If you look up here, she has 2 forms. One, a sort of semi-human form to blend in with humans, and then a true form, as she is the goddess of the moon, and she basically has the powers over the moon and night. Night and darkness. And pretty much, Mephiles then says, "My name is Mephiles. As Deku then says that's a nice name. So, what do you want to, what exactly are you studying on? I mean, like, what strength are you testing? As Mephiles then says, oh, I'm benching about 500 pounds. As Deku then says, huh, nice. As he then says, so, what exactly is your quirk? As Mephiles then says, you probably won't believe me, but quirkless. But I'm quirkless. As Deku then says, no way, I'm quirkless too. As she then says, wait. As Mephiles closely looks at Deku and says, are you from Mobius? As he then says, what? Oh, you're from the alternate Earth as well, right? As she then says, how do you know? Oh, what, of Mobius? As Deku then says, long story short, found a old mask, put it on. I found a mask in the middle of the woods, put it on, and I become the reincarnation of a dude named Infinite. As Mephiles then says, Infinite, Huh, I've never heard of him before. As he then says, pretty much, I can alter reality itself. Infinite could do it. I also had reality altering skills. As Mephiles then says, so you can basically fly, create weapons out of thin air, shoot projectiles, create suns, black holes, crack the earth in half, that sort of stuff. As Deku then says, yeah, pretty much. Right now I'm training to be a hero, though. As she would then say, so, where exactly do you live, Mr. As Deku would then say, oh, my name's Izuku Midoriya, but you may call me Infinite. As that will be my hero name. As Mephiles would then say, Infinite. What a strange name. So I'm guessing you got your name as in... Infinite has his name as in he's capable of doing altering infinite realities. As then Infinite appears and says, not quite. You see, along with reality altering, we can alter the reality of ourselves to make our strength to where it's basically infinite. If we wanted to, we could shatter universes with our power. Hell, even make ourselves immortal. A god, pretty much. As Mephiles would then say, I see. So, please explain to me. What exactly, was your, life like? As Infinite would then just say, it's something, tell you that. I am adopted by a pro hero named Azawa. I have reality manipulation. I'm basically one of the most overpowered beings you may ever meet. I'm basically a god. I've already altered reality to where I'm immortal. As Mephiles would then and say, so what are you planning on doing after this? As Deku would then say, actually, cutie, I should be asking you what you're planning to do after this. As Mephiles would blush, as she would say, well, I was planning on doing some more training, but, well, since you are basically a god, I want to test out your strength. As Mephiles would basically, she would go into her true form, as she would then say, let's battle, and let's fight. As Mephiles would be surrounded with shadowy energy, as she would rush towards Deku. As Deku would basically do exactly what Infinite did in his fight against Sonic, and just friggin' sidestep. As Deku would begin floating, as he then began shooting beams of, well, phantom energy. As, well, reality, anything that the phantom energy hit, it would instantly begin switching the realities of that object. As, basically imagine like you're fighting Kaguya, to the point where she can, and to where Deku can alternate the battlefield. Like it could be ice, then lava, then you could literally be fighting on lightning and storm clouds. Then you could literally be fighting on water. Then you could literally be fighting on just a thin piece of rock floating in space. And you could also be literally fighting in a realm between life and death, as Deku basically is a god. As basically they begin using like kung fu and martial arts. As we skip about 3 hours, as they're both pretty much equal. As Deku's stronger in some regions, but Mephiles is stronger in others. As then Mephiles says, alright then. And you've actually earned my respect. You've actually earned my respect. Well then, behold. As Mephiles would create, and would basically float up and create a orb of darkness about the size of the sun. As they would right now be in a sort of alternate dimension where everything was basically like they were fighting on lightning and thunderclouds. As Deku would create a sun, and just a giant sun. As the sun would then crackle with phantom energy, as the sun itself would begin distorting reality. Mephiles would say, this is my final attack. I call it the Dark Star. As, well, Deku would say, well then this is my final attack. phantoms. I call it Phantom Blaze, as the two attacks would be thrown and hit each other. As then there would just be a ginormous kaboom. As red and purple and orange and all sorts of colors of lightning would just begin sprouting throughout the dimension made of nothing but lightning and thunderclouds. As then all the energy would, and all the lightning, basically the lightning from the giant explosion, would trigger all the thunderclouds, as then there'd be nothing but endless rainbow energy of lightning, endless rainbow lightning just coming out of all the thunderclouds. As then all the lightning would begin swirling into the form of one small orb, as the orb would be floating in Deku's palm, as he would then crush it with his hand, as he would then say, "You used one of your strongest attacks on me, and I used one of my strongest on you. Now behold my finisher." As Deku would then say, "Hey, Reality Master Art. And Reality God's Master. God of Reality's mastered art. The final altar." As this attack, basically, imagine being hit with the power and force of infinite multiverses, is in the size of one punch. Yeah, Saitama ain't got shit on this punch. He would quite literally be blown out of existence and blown into smithereens. As this punch, basically, it wields the power of an infinite omniverse, which an infinite omniverse is a infinite collection of infinite multiverses, and a multiverse and an infinite multiverse is an infinite collection of infinite universes, and a infinite universe is a collection of infinite galaxies, and a infinite galaxy is a collection of infinite worlds, and a infinite world is, well, a collection of... Yeah, I'm not going to go fully into depth after that, but I would just say that imagine all that power just in one punch. One Punch Man ain't got nothing on that. As Mephiles would then say, fine. If you're using your final attack, then I'm using mine. As Mephiles would then call forth the power of Iblis, or her other half. As if you do not know, Mephiles and Iblis are basically two pieces that, if combined, give you Solaris. As she would combine as much Iblis energy and as much of her energy as she could, as she would then say, "And here is my final attack. Hack. Eclipse Goddess's mastered art. Eclipse Beam." Basically, imagine a orange and black Kamehameha, except about the size of an entire universe. Okay? As the two attacks would hit each other, as Deku would be basically, the Eclipse Beam would be holding off Deku, but then his punch would begin splitting through the beam. As his punch would eventually land right on Mephiles' cheek. As then Yeah, imagine being hit with all that force. You have. Just tell me in the comments if you understand how much destruction that would do to you. Just put infinite F's in the chat. Okay? Just do it. Yes. Sorry. I love the Gacha Life Deku AUs. I know they aren't canon, but well, they sure are. They sure do give me some ideas and inspiration. As I'm actually thinking of I actually was thinking of doing a Gacha Life franchise, but half of you said yes, half of you said no, so it's been undecided. Then again, please tell me, do you want me to do Gacha Life series? Say yes or no. Okay? Because I can download Kind Master. But anyways, pretty much Deku would be. I'm pretty much. Deku would stop altering reality as the two would basically be teleported back to the normal reality of Earth. And Mephiles would be full on back about 1 billion miles through a whole bunch of mountains, as she would actually be punched off of the planet, as she would just be hurling farther and farther and farther, as she would be like out about 100 galaxies away from our solar system. As Deku would then say, "Did I do? Oh dear," as he would snap his fingers, and she would be teleported right next to him. As he'd say, "Sorry, my mastered art is kind of one of the strongest attacks in all of existence. Actually, I think it might be." As she would then say, as she would then think, that power, that strength, that. Oh. As she would then smile, and as she would then begin blushing and say, "I want that, boy. Not any other, not no one else. I want him." Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. As she would be blushing, and in her head she would say, "That man is mine."
Bitch attack.
My god, hold on. Sorry, some sort of crazed fan is watching me. Anyhow, back to the what if. As. Well, yeah, that whole thing would go down. As Deku would leave the training dojo. Okay, the fan just left. As Deku would leave the training dojo, and. Well. Yeah. He would leave the training dojo and walk over to UA. And he'd go back to his house, or I guess you could say, Aizawa's house. As we go to Mephiles' perspective, as she basically left the training dojo and went into a deep, far part of the woods. As she would have opened her hand and created a portal out of shadows. As she would have been brought to a castle. A dark crystallized castle just floating in a black dark void. As she would have basically entered the castle, as she would then say, yes, he indeed is strong, perfect. He would indeed be a good boyfriend, and he wouldn't die on me. After all, he's already immortal. So perfect. As she would basically say this, as she would then say, now let's see what's going on. As she would snap her fingers, and a sort of mirror made of shadows would appear right in front of her, as it would basically be like a gateway to see through to the mortal realm. As she would basically be looking and see Deku, who in UA. As it would have been the second day, as Azawa would then say, "Alright, everyone, here is your newest teacher. Alright, everyone, here's your newest teacher, her for, I guess, PE." As All Might would walk in, saying, "I'm walking you through the door like a normal person, and I'm running in the hallway like a normal person." As Deku would then think, "Seriously, All Might?" As Deku would as All Might would then say, "Today we're doing something called Heroes versus Villains. There will be teams of two." As then Bakugo being still pissed about, well, everything else that happened, including being turned into a sundae, would then say, "I got a better idea, Teach. How about all of us, including All Might and Aizawa, against Izuku Aizawa?" As pretty much Mephiles would be in her realm, basically in her powered down form, as she would basically be chuckling and think, "Boy, I am a goddess of darkness, of night, of... I am literally one of the most powerful beings, and he was strong enough to freaking one-shot me if he wanted. Seriously, he could have just used that one attack and one-shot me out of existence. I mean, oof. He's already that powerful." As Deku, and as we go back to the immortal realm, as Bakugo would then say, "I want all of us to fight against Izuku Aizawa. After all, if he's so powerful enough to alter reality, then I want to fight him without him using his reality altering powers." As Bakugo thought that Deku was weak in physical strength. As Deku would then say, "Okay." As he would basically, Deku would turn off his reality altering powers, or he wouldn't alter reality. As all Deku would do was rush, and was basically stand in the middle of a training ground. As then everyone would say, "Go." Sorry. As Nezu, who was watching this, would then say, "Alright, and go." As everyone would begin and rushing towards Deku. As All Might would already know to go 100% on Deku. As, well, Eraser, her head would not try to turn use his quirk on Deku because it's basically useless against him, as he'd only be using his physical strength, as everyone else would be using all their quirks to their fullest potential that they have unlocked so far. As they were all trying to beat Deku. As Deku would just, not even with any sort of speed augments, he would just run over and begin neck chopping people. As he would throw Bakugo into a wall, he would pretty much beam chuck, or I believe as Vegeta, as Prince Vegeta. Also, he's another one of the dudes who talks as anime characters. He talks as Prince Vegeta. Yeah, as he always says, when you kick someone with your foot in the chest, it is called the big boot. So yeah, as Deku would basically big boot Araka into the ground, and would begin bodying everyone with only his base power. As he would say, wow, that was actually easy. As they would then say, that's not even possible, you must have been using some sort of reality altering power. As Deku would have then said, no, actually I wasn't. I was only using my physical strength. As he would then say, but anyways, I guess that's a wrap. Oh wait, Bakugo. Oh, by the way, Bakugo, since you tried to act tough again, here's your punishment. As Deku would raise his hand, as he would then just a sort of red orb of phantom energy would appear in Deku's hand as he, well, no, not a red orb of phantom energy, just a small red cube of phantom energy would float in Deku's hand. As Deku would then say, this is called phantom energy. This is the very power which allows me to manipulate reality. As you can see, as Deku would point to his chest, this crystal is a part of me. It is called the Phantom Ruby. It basically acts as a conduit. An indestructible, unremovable conduit for me to use my power. As Deku would then say, hey, behold. As he would then say, phantom energy can be used in infinite amounts of ways. It can be used for defense, as the energy would then transform into a shield, and into a sort of energy shield, as then Deku would say, offense, as the energy would then turn into the shield would then turn into a spear, as he would then say, fun, as the energy would then turn into a carousel, seriousness, as the energy would then turn into a minigun, or even divine, as the energy would then turn into a giant Chinese dragon. As he would say, by the power of phantom energy, I'm basically God. As he would have then said, you're lucky I didn't use any of my strongest and final attack on any of you. As they would as everyone except the teachers would just think, what does he mean, final attack? As we go to Mephiles, who is watching Deku through her dark mirror, as she then thinks, wait a minute, why are those students, why aren't those students quaking in their boots? That attack is so strong, it could destroy everything in all of existence. Go back to Deku, as he would then say, behold my final attack. As Deku would raise his hand and would say, behold. As a orb of energy would appear here in his hand, as he would say, final, behold, reality God's mastered art, final altar. As then all sorts of rainbow lightning or energy would just be coming out of portals, just that would open out of nowhere, as all this energy would build up into one small orb. As Deku would then say, if I were to throw this orb at you, you would basically be erased. You and probably this entire universe would be erased from existence. As Deku would then say, but if I close my fist, as he would close his fist, and the orb and his fist would begin radiating with rainbow lightning. As he'd then say, this attack allows me to do one devastating punch, that if this blow hits, you will basically be punched out of all of existence, and through all of existence. As Deku would then say, behold. As he would raise his hand towards the sky, and he would just punch, as the very air pressure of this punch would be going through planets, suns, and everything. Stars, universes, as then Deku would snap his fingers and everything would be back to normal. As he would say, that attack, as I told you, that attack is so destructive that actually yesterday I fought a goddess after the what's it called? Yeah. The placement test. Pretty much, I used that attack on her, and safe to say, it hurt. However, I snapped my fingers and brought her back here, and stopped the attack before she would be flung out of existence. As Deku would then say, but anyways, now it's time to go to bed. But anyways, yeah, boy, as Deku would, basically, he would leave. Or he was just about to leave, as then Jiro would then say, and as Jiro basically would follow Deku and try to seduce him. Deku would say, I'm not interested, sorry. As he would basically would teleport away. As Jiro would basically be pulled underneath into a black void of darkness. As then Sickles, like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat 11's weapon, these sickles, would begin slicing and dicing right through her. As then shadows would begin surrounding her, as then a portal would open, and all that would be left was just a giant puddle of black blood. I mean, of black and purple blood. As if you're wondering, that was a Yandere Mephiles attack. As Deku would basically walk home and would go to bed. As Yandere Mephiles would be watching quite literally from the shadows. As Deku slept. As we go to pretty much his mentor. As done, I don't have a picture for his mentor. But yeah. Anyways, Infinite would be watching as he would think, jeez. The kid's already got him. Hold on. As basically, he would think, my god, the kid's only been a god for about, just a couple of years. And he already has, and he has a yandere already. Well, I can see how his immortality is going to turn out. As now y'all might be wondering, why so many yanderes? Because I have a problem with yandere ships. Seriously. I search yandere Sasanaru texting videos daily. You think I'm a sane man? I watch Naruto X Female All for One and complain that that the fans have made the person de-age her. I am not mentally stable. Okay? So, yeah. Anyways, Mephiles would return to the shadows, as Deku would be dead asleep. As Azawa would walk in from the shadows, as he'd then say, So my boy has a yandere, yandere crush, huh? She must be that goddess that he was talking about. I consent to this and I'll help her. And I'll help her get him. As she would then disappear. And as he would then leave the room. And that's where I'm leaving this part off. Hope y'all enjoyed this part of What If Deku Was. As Infinite Part 2. And yeah. Want a Part 3? Tell me in the comments and goodbye. Outro, please.